Hi. It's episode 2 of our Pandemic Poker Series, Grant.
It's called One of the Players Gets Sick.
No, it's not called that. Wow.
No, they all have masks. They're being safe. It's actually being filmed at the new Portland Meadows. We're going to renovate it a little bit more. It looks a little janky right now, but eventually it will look a little better.
Yep.
But it's been very safe. They've at the time that this was filmed, they'd been operating for 40 to 45 days with no issues from the pandemic.
Yep.
A lot of safe practices involved.
Yeah. Happy to say that. No outbreaks of any kind. Anyway, here we go with Wonka opening with the Jack-10 suited under the gun, and Dan Ross just calling with Ace-King suited +1. Interesting.
Well, +1 is a super strong spot to 3-bet.
Yep. It is, but still interesting.
Hello. Lights out.
Wonka flops a pair and 2 back doors.
Nope.
He's not exactly stealing, so I can't make a bandit joke yet, but it'll happen.
There may be an opportunity.
He's mostly
down the
just
road.
equity denying.
Dan Ross
Or do you think this
has-
is more board-based than anything that Wonka's betting here? Because it's kind of like one of the hands that's a candidate to check.
Yeah, I think his under the gun range is such that he would just always bet this board, pretty much, right? Well, not always, but almost always.
Ooh.
Oh, pocket deuces.
Deuces were folded, so set was folded there.
How did that have happened before? Matt felted me twice.
Wonka can't love this spot. He can beat diamonds. He can beat floats. Although 4-5 just got there. I don't know that Dan's really floating with 4-5 suited.
Yeah, time to get some value from weaker aces and pairs between the 10 and ace. And sometimes a hand like Wonka's will call too.
Yep. How often does Dan have diamonds versus have an ace? He probably has more aces than diamonds, and Wonka agrees.
Wonka has plenty of checks there that are reasonable or even good aces. So I think he can comfortably fold that and not be exploited.
Yeah. It does suck to check fold a pair on a, when you were betting. You weren't betting for value on the flop, but you did have something, and like a reasonable pair even. But, yeah.
But you opened under the gun, and +1 is the guy who's betting into you after you bet the ace-high flop. So Dan's range is pretty strong there.
Yeah, Dan may not be betting all his diamond draws because of this, too, right? He's like, you have queens and you're not folding, and I know it. So, yeah. Wonka may be folding partially because he knows he's losing to some of the better tens as well. Anyway, here's Digital Dan.
We promise an ace-king for at least one Dan every hand this episode. That's a Poker Guy's guarantee.
And we've already delivered because we're awesome. Laminator calling with the 4 deuce suited in the hijack, and away we go.
Is he doing that because that's Digital Dan's favorite hand? He's trying to get him with his own hand, and he's partway there.
Sure outflopped him so far. Look at the equities, how closely they're running right now. And Dan's just probably going to fold right away.
He doesn't even have a spade. I think you can check fold, and sometimes you'll be against 4 deuce like this, but this is a really good board for Laminator and a bad board for Dan. But still, he's gonna peel one. It's not unreasonable.
A king or an ace of spades would be a disaster. This is not so bad, though. Dan should be able to get away from this without putting any more money in. Laminator bets
Did he bet
$10.
$10?
He loves min betting. He is a min betting machine, I will say. And I like that he's betting so little with. Look at that. Look at
Digital Dan finds the $10 fold. Saved himself $10.
That was interesting. That's the kind of thing where you might want to pounce on that bet sometimes, is Digital Dan. You might think you could steal the pot, away from like ace-9 or 10-9 or something. But he read it correctly, and that was pretty good. He put money in when he was ahead and folded even for a min bet when he was behind.
I actually don't hate Laminator's bet on the turn there. I've done stuff like that in the past. No, I know Laminator does that a little more often than that to make it strategically relevant, but it might be the best way to get value out of a lot of whiffs on that board against a lot of players is to make that bet and make it just feel like how can I fold for $10 into 195, and how can I call? I guess I have to raise. You know,
The problem
some
is
players will think that way.
The problem, of course, with that hand is if Dan has literally any spade, I think he's calling, and you're giving him an outrageous price to draw against your
Yeah, I mean, there's
flush
pros
draw.
and cons.
That is
There's
the
pros
biggest
and cons.
problem.
But you'd expect that a lot of Dan's big spades would be continuing on the turn anyway.
That's true, but medium spades, he might be check calling. For $10, he is check calling. In fact,
I think the click whir response you can generate from time to time probably outweighs that.
That's fair. Anyway, wheel gets away from ace-8 suited. I like it. Doesn't even take very long to fold. It's a brand new wheel, everybody.
Maybe he has to pee.
Less likely to use these.
Maybe the mask is just throwing him off, I mean, what is in that mask? What is going on? It's like protruding so much compared to look at Dan Ross, Wonka. They have normal face.
I mean,
mask
you know
type situations.
exactly what's going on. It's plastic surgery.
It's the best time in the world to get plastic surgery. Will was telling us. It's chin surgery, obviously.
Well, I mean, like, you've worn those masks, Levy. I know you have. That's a KN95. They look ugly. KN95s are ugly.
I remember the hand.
I think they look awesome normally, but I think, Will's got the chin job, and I understand why he's decided to. He needs the extra space. Let me just say it that way for healing.
Are you saying when you wear a KN95, you don't look all pointy like that?
I'm saying I look awesome and not pointy. So Digital Dan did not go all in for. I'll just tell you right now.
is
These are
not true.
lies. It's a normal race.
That was that same episode
Did Todd call though
where I got
with
to
4-3?
make sure you
Yeah, I
may
think
have.
Todd did call Dan's normal race.
Yeah, we're fixing that because Eleanor, our intern, Eleanor the intern.
by good you mean
We hired her because it's sort of a rhythmic sounding name when you say Eleanor the intern like that. There's a normal raise by Dan,
yesterday was
and get ready for it. Here it comes. There's the call
not monetarily,
by Todd.
but like
And you're lying about Eleanor. It's because it actually is Eleanor Roosevelt.
10-4 board.
People think she's dead. Not dead. And we thought the name recognition would be good for the show.
I was gonna, try and build it up a little more and get a little more out of it, but whatever. You did. You basically give us. There's no brand awareness happening based on how you just did that. But whatevs.
If you build it, they will come.
Nothing for anyone. Will Digital Dan continue on this board with 2 7s? It'd just be an equity denial play. He does not.
That's not Todd, but it is a golden opportunity for Todd, who does not take it.
Yeah. Another overcard to Dan's 7s, and he just can't wait any longer. There's Todd. And
Thanks for the good luck.
that's $35 you'll never see again. Gone forever.
Yeah, Todd, as we've seen in episode 1 and now here, plays wide ranges. Wide ranges, one of those guys. Wide range guy.
Yeah. Now, just so everyone's alert, we're also going to be having bomb pots. Looks like we may be having one right now. Yep. And usually these guys are playing Omaha for the bomb pots as well. So bomb pot, of course, is where everyone effectively antes $10, and everyone gets 4 cards, and we go right to the flop without any betting action, and then everything's back to normal. It's kind of insane. Here we go.
Then can I be a poker player?
Normal, except that it's Omaha, so I have no idea what's going on.
Yep. And you can see it says everyone called because everyone anteed. Wheel with kings.
Will with the Omaha troll hand, the King 7 deuce.
He's going to need a king to feel good about it. He did not hit it. Well, Dan Ross flops top 2 and a flush draw, and the nut flush draw. It's a monster flop for him. Chris has a flush draw as well, a queen high flush draw, but he's got 0% equity, so he could get in some trouble.
That's a small amount of equity.
0%, yeah. Dan's got a super easy bet with just a monster
I think the
hand.
queen high flush draw is a fold in an Omaha bomb pot. A pretty easy fold.
Well, let's see if Chris agrees. Wheel is pretending to think about it with kings and a 7. He's got 1 king he can hit, and I guess he's got two 7s he can hit. He decides
He
to
calls?
call. Wow.
Wow, this is a Hold'em style entitlement tilt with kings.
That feels like it. Chris now has a really easy fold once Wonka calls. Once Wheel calls, I think. Wonka gets rid of the gut shot, and Wheel does have a few outs, but not too many. Oh, my goodness.
That is not one of them, although it does give him some hope.
What an
Can
interesting
make
card.
a full house.
He's going to lead. Chris, by the way, would have made the second nuts on this board. And Wonka leads into the nuts.
That is not Wonka, yet again.
Wonka is sitting there next to the guy who led into the nuts, which is Wheel, which is not next to, but he is across from. How'd I do?
Good point.
Yep. We also do
good.
World Series commentary sometimes.
So Wheel, unfortunately for him, blocks the 7, which is at this point bad to have that 7. He needs to improve to a full house.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dan Ross trying to decide, can he raise for value here? When Wheel bets, it really looks like Wheel just made his flush. I think Dan's supposed to raise. What do you think?
I think so. I think we need to put more money in when we have the best of it if we can. I mean, we're never folding this hand if we get 3-bet.
Oh, my God.
Obviously. Just have to avoid a board pair. We know basically if we get it in, we have to avoid a board pair or we're going to lose.
I mean, we don't know that. Like, I mean, we could
unless Wheel knows nothing about Omaha and gets in without the nut flush here.
Yeah, he could get in
or
with the
like-
second nut flush. I mean, I'm not saying he
Which
should.
would be a very...
By the way, he
that'd
doesn't
be
have,
very bad.
he doesn't have to get it in. We're just talking about him calling
Yeah.
this raise, right?
Why I said 3-bet, so...
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, I mean,
We are
Wheel,
talking about
Wheel shouldn't be 3-betting with this hand anyway, right? Is he going to fold? Looks like he's about to fold it. Yep.
Give my opponent the time.
Yeah, that can't be that bad. Dan gets to clean up his equity here.
Yeah.
Take down the pot. Now, if he knew what Wheel had, I don't know. But it's totally reasonable to
I think
raise.
that's a fine result. Wheel still
Yeah.
has some outs.
Give him another.
Oh, yeah, Wheel's got a fair amount. It's like 20% to win that pot, and he loses all of it. And once in a while, you are going to get called. Dan Ross made it so big that it's hard for Wheel to call with a hand like
I was gonna give him
a set.
my time card, so he
And,
could
in
think it
fact,
over
Wheel
a
did
little
that.
bit longer.
I didn't even hear that crap.
Boy, that sucks for
Maybe if
Wheel,
it was
huh?
top set, maybe if it was top set, you could call because
Hmm.
you wouldn't be completely screwed. But Dan Ross could be sitting there with a nut flush and a set of aces. That's
I
possible.
mean, sure, he could be, but I mean, lots of things are possible. You don't have to assign the nuts to people every time. you
right?
know?
I agree, but
Like,
it's
if Dan-
just
If
it-
Dan had ace jack with just the ace of hearts, he might make this play too sometimes, right? Just the nut blocker. And if that's in his range and he's got that, suddenly it's not so easy to fold the set, right?
Well, I guess this is all a good argument for not leading as Wheel
Yes.
on the turn there.
That's right. I think a check call makes a lot more sense.
I gotta look
You actually check, hope it checks back, and when he bets, you're like, well, I guess I have to call, and then figure it out on the river. You're correct.
No, right. I'm just stacked.
And we're back to Hold'em. And Wheel is looking around like someone called his name and he's not sure who it was.
He can have my time card.
Like maybe he ordered soup a while ago and it's still not there, and he's just kind of thinking about that. It's like it's been a long time.
Where's my
Wonder if it's just sitting
minestrone?
there.
Where's my damn
Getting cold.
minestrone?
I've used them, but not in that spot. You went. Sounds like a laugh.
Looks like Wheel's gonna bet this board.
1.5 times the
bet.
pot.
Yeah. That's going to be Game 3 Disaster Land. I guess sometimes maybe you can fold out a 4. So
Oh, yeah.
that's good.
You charge 7, 8 and things like that, which might have called a $15 bet, where they have a gutter
Yeah.
and overs and stuff. You kill some equity, but it doesn't feel like it needed to be that big. But at least it's a small pot. It's actually, in practice, it's only $30, right? So it's not like betting 1.5 times the pot when the pot's $2,000.
Yeah. How many cups of delicious minestrone can you buy for $30 though?
It depends on the country and the restaurant.
Mostly the restaurant, right? I mean, the country will have like an average price for it, but the restaurant itself is going to determine the cost.
Well, that is determined by, the current state of the country you're in.
Okay.
Often. Hey, look at this. Todd
I'm like,
Hey.
is definitely so far in this session, if you've watched episode 1, displaying the strong is weak, weak is strong thing, where he takes aggressive actions with garbage and takes passive actions with good hands.
Yep. He limped with ace king. He limped with ace queen. He raised with king 3. He raised with some other horrible hand last episode as well. Well, he's zigging when other people would normally zag. The thing is, I don't know that it's possible most of the table knows he's playing like that. I don't know if this is necessarily unusual for him.
The
right?
problem is that it's completely unbalanced so far. If
Well,
it's
yeah.
100% strong is weak, weak is strong, that's not really an effective zigzag.
Yeah,
I'll get over it.
that's fair. Also, there's no time when you would normally play king 3 off in early position, right? It isn't like, well,
No.
I normally limp this hand. Although maybe he would. Maybe he would.
Maybe he would. Oh, Wheel's got kings, and he's got a raise in front of him.
Ideal time to put in a little more money. Small 3.
Is that a min rate? Well, effectively a clickback. It
Yep.
is. He's made it 60.
Yeah, not technically a min raise like you're saying, but sure feels like one. Dan Ross has the easiest call in poker.
Dan, is your last name Pascal? Yes.
When you're
Is your dad Pete Pascal?
170 blinds deep and it costs you 3 blinds to call, and you've already put money in with a reasonable hand.
Ooh, Wheel checks it back.
Oh. Now is a full.
Now he's got a complete hammerlock. Feels great about this hand, obviously, and he's going to get led into. This is a wonderful time for Wheel.
Yep. Dan Ross seeing if he can just move Wheel off a hand like Ace Queen right now.
You know, I think the mask might be helping Wheel right now. It's not revealing as much of his acting that's going on his face.
I agree. Big nothing for Dan Ross. Is he going to take another swing, try and fold out a hand like 2 jacks? He is.
He's repping. He could rep 5-6 here. That's reasonable.
He could have 2 10s here. He could have king queen
Yeah.
here. He could have lots of things.
Not sure about 2 10s, but I agree with
You're
the
right.
rest of your statement.
Well, because he's unless he's bluffing with 2 10s. But king queen totally reasonable, right? King jack. Wait, here comes the raise. We know it's coming. It has to come.
Wheel doing a lot of talking.
You like attach?
Dan
I'll say
Ross.
one thing about Wheel. That guy likes some soup. He enjoys soup.
Here's something I like about Dan Ross's decision. He folded right away. He didn't pretend that he had a decision there when he didn't have a decision.
250.
We're back to Wheel continuing to collect chips from his king's hand. Played it sneaky post flop, worked out great. Dan Ross bet into him twice.
Gonna be a Wilson.
Wonka by far the tightest player so far. If we look at the VPIPs, which is of course voluntary
Right.
chips in play.
Wheel is uncommonly high. We've had Wheel on Poker Time a lot of times. He's very rarely the top V pipper.
Yeah, we're pretty early in the session though. They've played about 45 minutes, so that may be
Yeah.
part of it too.
My card get on his sensor?
Let's not forget there's these bomb pots, which also are going to up the those VPIP numbers a little bit artificially.
They're going to up everybody's equally, though.
Yeah,
I was
right.
referring only to his ranking, not his percentage.
But, okay, well that seems less important than his percentage, though, right? Doesn't it?
I mean, only if you want it to.
Anyway, Todd here opening with 9-7 suited under the gun. I actually like this play. I'm a fan of this play. Chris with the
Gonna
3
get
bet,
three
though.
bet.
Insta punishment. Todd has shown a proclivity not to fold in these spots so far, but never mind. I'm surprised, actually. Was
Well,
a big
that
3-bet.
might be the first time that Chris has taken an aggressive action pre-flop in this game, and he hasn't had much to work with. But also, Todd,
5-7.
while loose, is aware of that, and maybe he would call against other players, but recognizes that Chris has been playing tighter, or at least assumes he has. Sometimes you just don't get cards, but sometimes you are actually tighter.
It's a pristine time to make a fold, it looks like there by Todd, though, with the overpair to his 2 undercards.
Classic poker guys reference.
Yeah,
Which
William
is
Reynolds.
a William Reynolds.
Reference.
Indeed.
Hey now.
That's from our video.
How many
It's
times has
Impossible,
William
right?
over under? How many times has William Reynolds been to Burning Man?
I'm gonna go 4.5.
That's a good line.
When is Burning
I can't
Man?
pick against that line.
When is Burning Man?
I don't know.
Yeah, if
Summer.
it's-
Maybe.
Well, it may be during the World Series. That would hurt it.
Imagine us.
Ah,
Although I can't be right during the World Series because anyway, here we go. Gut shot for Todd, overs and some backdoors for the digital one.
You can Sturge have a rematch when he's visiting.
Yes.
good card for Todd, especially against Dan's no spade hand.
Yeah, but
The porcelain.
Yeah, Todd turns
but he knows
all
that
the
he-
draws.
Oh, that got. Okay, that
Yeah,
got.
gut shot to a million things.
Those are promises you have to keep.
Which means open-ended, I guess.
He is wrathful.
Yeah,
Gut shot to a million things, open-ended, same thing.
and a flush draw.
Yeah.
So not just open-ended, right? Also a flush draw. A lot more outs.
I thought I heard you say a gut shot to a million things.
Oh. No. Yeah, he went from a gut shot to a million things.
Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha.
You're so busy trying to bust me, it's gotcha journalism with you every frickin' second. You know? How
Yeah.
about supporting me? I'm the other poker guy. Support me.
I have bad news for you. This is me doing my best to support you. This is all you give me. This is all you leave me with.
Fair enough. Dan Ross. A regular around the Portland poker scene, but if you're not from there, he's new to you. This is his first appearance on Poker Time, except for, of course, last episode.
Chris thought about loosening the range, but decided not to.
Speaking of loose, it's the old 10-3.
Technically, yes.
Well, he is in the small blind.
Yep. It's hard. Even so, it's the old 10-3, Grant. Wonka with middle pair here. And
Laminator gonna
Laminator,
stab.
$60
It's gonna work. It's a huge stab.
into
2x
30.
pot.
Huh. So Laminator's been
That's-
taking really big shots at very small pots. We've seen it twice now.
Did he click the wrong button? Like, what happened there?
I would think so, except he bet 30 into 20, 5 minutes ago. So
Yeah.
feels like it's a strategy. Well, I'll tell you what, he's defining hands, that's for sure. Like if someone calls him, he can shut down immediately.
That is true.
That said, I don't know if he needed to bet that much. And Wheel apparently has decided. Oh, okay. Tight is still right. Looked like the wheels were coming off the train there.
Time is something we can never get.
Do we just see Todd fold? No, I didn't think so. Okay. He's going to min raise the 9-10 off after the limp. At least he's got the button.
Oh my God, it's incredible. He has the most playable hand of the three, I suppose. And he should win this one if he's willing to be aggressive.
Looks like he is
did
willing
that.
to be aggressive.
I mean, it does have a backdoor and a gutter, but lets it go. And Todd got to feel like he stole something that time. My heart.
Bomb pot.
By min raising over a limp.
Sure, why not? I don't know.
Yeah.
What? Doesn't change anything with the
Not
stop
allowed.
House rule.
Just
Not
saying.
allowed.
Dan, I want to know who
It's
lost.
trending. Wilds are
Not allowed in
trending.
the poker room.
Yes.
It's like pastel corner. You notice that over there?
I have not, but I'll start paying attention.
They're
Looks like we
making
have a
a-
bomb pot.
All right. Another Omaha hand. Because in Portland, not only do we play bomb pots once in orbit, basically in every cash table in the world, it's often 4 cards. It often goes from a Hold'em game to an Omaha game for this. It's just, and now they do double boards, they do triple boards. It's pretty nice.
Yes. Basically, the variance cannot be high enough. It's
It's,
impossible.
that's correct. That's correct. How can we find more ways to gamble? So here we are.
Do what you want.
There's more cards.
You're gonna have to spread it in pot.
$80 already in the pot. We're going to go right to the flop.
No, no.
Wheel once again with kings. Let's see if he.
Kings and garbage again.
Well, at least this time he has a reasonable diamond draw to go with it. And top set. Oh, wow. Look at that flop for Wheel.
That's a good one.
Spread 'em.
He had 69% equity, and they're 8 ways. That's tough to do.
For once, you didn't have to spread them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a set of 10s for Chris. That could get him in some trouble. He
It's
also
good.
has a deuce, which is not ideal for him.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, if a deuce came, that wouldn't help Chris any. That would hurt him.
No, I'm saying that's bad overall because he's he's blocking a set of deuces, which is a likely hand to take an aggressive action against him.
Got it.
And if he ends up against a multi-draw hand, he's got fewer full house outs if he needs them.
I mean, I think he's just going to end up losing a lot of money in this hand right now. If Wheel decides to fast play this, which he probably should on this weta board.
Oh yeah, Chris could have some sort of a wrap. Although he doesn't, he probably has diamonds covered. Wheel does, but sometimes Chris has better diamonds.
Ace queen of diamonds with also the jack, ace queen jacket, anything like that, any jack. So then you got a monster. You can have a 9 in there. I mean, what's Chris supposed to do here? He can't fold.
Fold. I think he's supposed to fold.
You're crazy. You're not supposed to fold second set. Like you're the second nuts. That's insane.
I don't know. I don't play Omaha very
Yeah.
much, so
That's way too tight.
I could be wrong.
That's just way too tight. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't play a lot of Omaha, but I play enough to know you definitely don't fold middle set. Like it's okay to go broke with middle set in this spot, especially on this weta board.
You guys having like a tiger log?
Let's
In
see
a
if
bomb pot, though?
Well, I've never played bomb pot Omaha, I'll admit, but I don't see him folding. He doesn't have to put in another raise right now if he doesn't want
I mean,
to.
if you're
but the
gonna
truth
fold
is,
middle set, maybe the time to do it is when you don't have any diamond draw to go with it or straight draw, and you block the lower set.
He's thinking
if there's
about
a time. If there's a time, it's a bomb pot when those are the conditions.
this would be just. I think he's just trying to decide: is he calling or is he just going to move in? Because Wheel only has 1,300. Whoa! And he does let it go. He joins the Grant Dennison side of things. Wow.
I mean, you spoke with such certainty, but are you sure you're right? Because I definitely don't know what I'm talking about. But you don't know as much as you sounded like you know about Omaha.
Well, the fact that it's a bomb pot really does change it for sure. But besides that, no, you don't just get away from middle set there. I mean, that would be that's too tight in general. But in a bomb pot, maybe I still think it's wrong. But I admit, I mean, no one knows this, right? This is like no one studied this yet. This is brand new. This is a new frontier.
Well, would you agree that a condition to meet in order to potentially make that fold is get 3-bet by a tight player in a bomb pot who opened from early position in the bomb pot in a spot where you don't have any additional draws and you block the lower set?
You also don't
good
block
conditions?
you don't even block any of the diamonds. Oh no, not blocking the diamonds is good actually. Yeah, that's a reasonable point. Those are all reasonable points. Still, if you're gonna raise fold middle set, then does that mean you just cannot put in a 3-bet ever in this game? Because like maybe you just can't do it profitably with the nuts. I mean, it gets weird. I mean, the board's pretty wet anyway.
I think
but-
Wheel would have gotten action from a lot of Chris's middle set combos, just not that one. Not
Yeah.
with a 3 deuce, no diamonds.
Okay. So Todd just put in a big 3-bet after Digital Dan limped the queens, and the trap has been sprung.
It's actually just a raise, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right, because he limped queens. Dan puts in the re-raise.
So the trap has not been sprung.
Dan
A little bit of a
calls.
surprising fold. A little surprising fold from Laminator there with Jack 10 suited.
Really surprising. He's closing the action. I'm shocked.
Bad
Well-
flop for Dan. Didn't want to see that.
Pretty good flop for Todd. He can definitely put some action in here. This
Too
is, of
cheap
course,
to fold for Dan.
yeah, you can't. I mean, the fact that there's 2 aces makes it easier too. I'll say this: if a small spade comes though, Dan may pay off another street. Will Todd fire again? No.
Nope.
Well, he's sort of giving away the strength of his hand here. Oh my!
My goodness.
The one outer for
That's-
all the money.
Dirty, dirty card.
Okay, so Dan's gonna bet this. Well, let's say if Dan bets, Todd's definitely raising, right? Like it seems like an auto raise here. You can get
I
action
expect
from
Todd will raise.
trying to get
Yes,
action
I
from
think
trip.
that-
Oh, he just gets called.
Just a call.
Oh, you only.
Wow.
I know. I thought about jamming.
Dan is upset. Now, I've said it on this show before, and I'm going to say it again because I think it's one of the most instructive things in deep stack cash game poker. It may feel like playing wide ranges from all sorts of positions is not going to hurt you that bad. You're like going to show up with stuff that people don't expect. But Todd didn't have to be in that pot, right? I know that was a bad run out, but like Todd absolutely didn't have to be in that pot. He didn't have to lose all that money, and that's going to happen over and over again. And it's going to cost him more money than it earns him to play these hands in these positions.
Sure. Yeah, Definitely true.
Yeah, well, yeah, and Jay Sliver rolled me, and then Ken
But
delivered
at the
final
same point,
dagger.
I don't know if
It was-
I don't know what to say, but I'm shocked he did not put in a raise there when Dan can absolutely have
Yeah.
trip aces. If Dan has ace king or ace jack more likely than ace king for sure. Ace 10. Dan is going to at least have to consider calling a raise. I'm really surprised he didn't put. Dan could have small spades, by the way, and you could just have him crushed.
well, yeah,
Really surprised.
After the fucking like.
Anyway,
After the
Jake
six-
Dahl, who we really haven't seen
six
play at
roll.
all, getting involved here with the 7-5.
Eleanor is telling me that she still loves Teddy. I mean FDR, not Teddy. Although she wishes he was Teddy. But also that this is the last hand.
Okay. Digital Dan, by the way, is just slow playing the ace king 3 ways out of the big blind, and Jake flops double gutted.
I know. I have tequila to prove it. Or I had tequila.
Wonka's single gutted with a pair.
Everybody has something. Wonka decides to stick around. I think the button helps him make that decision. And Digital Dan's got to decide to raise or to call. He's keeping it small. Gin for Jake Dahl. Not straight.
Sort of gin. Spades are possible for his opponents, and as we see, Dan has a big spade, although it's
Sure.
pretty good.
It's a pretty great spot for Jake. And as you can see, he's betting, trying to get value from aces, among other things. And Wonka now. Not sure what he's thinking about. But he's thinking, which means it ain't a call. He's definitely not considering a call, Grant. I know that.
So what would Wonka's thinking be if he did go for a raise here? What leads him to believe that, because he doesn't have any spade blockers, what leads him to believe that Jake doesn't have spades?
My best guess is Jake opened +2, so there's not many spade combos he can really have here. He can have queen jack of spades, king queen of spades, king 10 of spades, maybe queen 10 of spades, maybe jack 10 of spades, maybe 10 9 of spades. There's like 7 combos max that he can have. So maybe he's thinking Jake's big aces and bluffs, and maybe even bluffs with a big spade just far outweigh that. Anyway, he does
I
put
guess
in the
he must
raise.
be thinking something like that, because he does put it in.
He does block.
Dan's got an interesting spot with.
yeah.
He's got the nut flush draw, which is also, by the way, the nut flush blocker. So he could rep the nut flush right now if he wants to, along with having equity against whatever calls him if he gets
right.
called.
So he can actually try and fold out better hands if he wants to. Now he has a pretty good hand. Turns out Jake Dahl's got a way better one, but he has a lot of interesting options here where he could reasonably call with a hand this good. He could definitely raise, like you're saying, try and fold out a hand like a set or a straight or even maybe a baby flush once in a while.
I mean, a baby flush hates it when Digital Dan specifically 3-bets this card. It's not in a good spot most of the time.
When he cold 3-bets especially, it feels super strong. From the big blind, it feels super strong.
This is a pretty pure nut blocker spot, honestly. I think a raise is a better
There it
play.
is. He
And that's
does
what he
it.
does. I
He moves
love
in.
it.
He moves in. Wow.
I love this play. And
Jake
Jake
Dahl-
just folds easily.
He has to. Doesn't he have to? How sick is
Yeah.
that? And Wonka gets
Great
away from
play.
it also. Oh, my
Great play by
goodness.
Digital Dan to end the episode. I am proud of that man.
Look at Jake Dahl.
Love
Look
it.
at Jake's reaction. He's pretty upset about it. He had the straight. Oh, Wonka really made it hard. Now, maybe Dahl folds anyway if Dan just check raises. But wow. All right, well, we'll see you guys next Tuesday for yet another episode of These Players.